So I'm Rebecca Bromley-Woods. I'm the education lead at the Violence Reduction Unit. My background is in early years where I started as a family support worker. That led me into further education where I've spent a lot of time working across the spectrum with children of all ages and their families. Conflict is something that young people are likely to experience throughout their time growing up. It can be really helpful behaviour because it can help you to stand up for what you really believe in. But when it tips over into bullying behaviour or when it becomes more threatening, particularly if it involves a weapon or a knife, then it's much more concerning. So it can be really quite traumatic when young people witness violence, whether that's something they see, something they hear, and it's really difficult for them to know whether they should intervene or even how to intervene. So they might fear getting involved, they might fear the conflict itself, they might be worried about what other people are thinking, and if nobody else is getting involved, it could be really difficult to be the first to step in. We call that being an active bystander, and this is all about being the one who can talk confidently about seeing a behaviour that they feel is wrong, stopping that behaviour. So it could be bullying, it could be that type of behaviour where they just see that somebody's a victim and perhaps needs your support at that time. So there's three things a young person can be advised to do at the point of conflict. The first thing is to get help. So in an emergency, it would always be 999, and if it's not an emergency, they can call 101. We'd advise them to call on a trusted adult, so that could be a youth worker, a teacher, maybe even a security guard, depending on where they are. And of course, that can actually be at the time of the event, or if they feel that they need to get help after the event, that's also okay as well. So the second thing they could do is distract or diffuse the situation. So that's about getting the friend away from the situation of conflict. It could be suggested going for a walk, maybe going getting some food. It's very much about just separating, taking some time out and calming down. So finally, what we could ask of the young person is that if it's safe to do so, they could take direct action. So this is about thinking about the situation, being aware of who they're talking to and not aggravating the situation. So addressing politely, asking them to stop, explain that it's wrong, and just taking some time to ask the victim if they're okay. Well, the first thing is to talk about it openly, preferably before there's a serious incident. I think your young person will feel more comfortable talking about an experience that they might have seen at school or something that's been triggered on the television, rather than waiting until there's a sensitive problem that they need to talk to you about. It can be really difficult to pick the right moment, particularly if a young person's feeling anxious or is worried about something. So the first thing to do is not be judgmental. Show them that you want to listen first and foremost, and that you're not going to judge what they're going to be saying. A change in behaviour is a good opportunity to start a conversation, so you will know your child best. And if you notice that they're becoming a little bit more anxious, a little bit more withdrawn, or perhaps they're changing their sleeping, eating patterns, then that can be a really good opportunity to open up the conversation and ask them what's going on. And remember, your child's going to learn from you, from the way you behave, from the way that you react. So think about your own behaviours, think about what they're learning from the things that you do and say every day. There's lots of information out there for parents and lots of support that you can access. And by getting your young people involved in your community groups, whether that's sports interventions, youth clubs, encouraging them to go out and make new friends in different groups as well. There's the I Am Greater website, and of course there's further information on the Greater Manchester Violence Reduction Unit website.